What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 65 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. Had a very, very good week this week. Very, very excited about how the weights are going to move going forward. Definitely am excited about the recap for this week and show you guys. Before I get into that, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is James Strickland. I am a pro powerlifter going for a 700-pound raw bench press. If you'd like to watch how my training progresses towards that goal, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you will see a weekly recap from me telling you about my training, how I feel, different things that I'm doing and why I'm doing them, just so you can kind of get a backstage pass of what it's like in a day in my life, if you will. But if you guys are longtime subscribers, welcome back. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I know the numbers are climbing every single day. I couldn't be more humbled to have you guys following me on my journey. Like I said, this week 65. Last week was a very, very good week. Definitely had a lot more in the tank, and that's really the goal of each week, is to not max out and just to spend all of my energy on one particular lift or one series of lifts and sets, but to really just kind of make sure that I'm not hurting myself and that I'm staying smart in my approach. Work with a coach, so I definitely want to follow his instructions, and he works with me with great feedback so that we can have the numbers that are appropriate for the next following weeks. I know a lot of you guys have a different approach in your own training, and I'm not saying that mine is right or yours is wrong. I know what works for me, and I'm going to keep doing it, but I like to put out my information because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there with a lot of guys, and a lot of lifters like to just kind of fly by the seat of their pants and just max out all the time, and they can't seem to get stronger. And so I like to have a little bit of knowledge that I bring forth to you guys, just to let you know that there is another way. If you're running into a wall, that maybe you can use some of the stuff that I've gone through my various recaps. I mean, I'm on week 65, so it's not going to be something that is going to be a quick fix, obviously, but it's something that you could maybe apply in your own training that maybe I'm doing. I am definitely open for questions. As you guys will see a little bit after the recap video, I have a question and answer session that I like to get from you guys, and I'll pick a couple of questions every week, one or two questions, and then just kind of give you guys my feedback on it. I am not the end all, so I don't claim to know everything. I promise you I do not know everything, but that's kind of the beauty of it, is that I'm in the trenches. I do a lot of coaching myself, so not only am I smart and knowledgeable about my own training, but I can use that to apply to other people and also learn from them, regardless of their strength level. But before I go any further into any of that, let me go ahead and show you guys the long awaited for week 65 recap. So this week I did my bench day on Wednesday. This is a staggered 8-day split to give myself an extra little bit of rest. Could not make it up to Dub's Barbell Club in Spring today, so I opted to go right down the street. It was a really nice gym, Bona Fitness. Last warm up there was 405. Flew up as fast as it's ever gone. Going to do my last, actually no, this is going to be my first main set. Set calls for 500 for 6 reps. I've got an audience in the gym today. I never really noticed anybody watching me until after I'm watching the videos, and so it's very humbling. I've got a couple people videoing, and that's really, really cool to see that. So I welcome that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I talk to as many people as I possibly can. So it's very exciting to share my journey. Set of 6 there. Just absolutely annihilated that set. This bench setup is not ideal. I'm going to show you guys a different angle. This is the same set, just a different angle. As you can see, the GoPro there set up as is the other angle. Just wanted to see where the bar is hitting on my chest. I'm trying to get some consistency here, especially with reps. It's easy to get out of the groove. You can see that I'm starting to kind of slip just a little bit on this bench. Like I said, it's not ideal. The squat rack that I normally would bench in at this particular location was occupied with some guys squatting, so I didn't want to disturb them. Over here to my left is where that squat rack is and where the cage is. But I've done some of my heaviest squats right here where I'm at, setting up for bench. So I figured, you know what, I'll just pull over one of the benches that I could find and just set up with some pins there. So just in case I need to bail on the bar or something happens, that I'm safe. I urge you guys to do that. You can lift alone, but make sure that you have your safety pins set up. So next set here is kind of a little bit extra that I wanted to do today. I knew that the 500 for 6 was absolutely very, very easy. I could have probably gotten 10 reps with that, and that would have definitely been a PR for reps. But I'm not trying to get rep PRs right now. I'm trying to get higher in progression. So we go ahead and move to 515 here. And the goal for this set was going to be 6 reps to match the 500 just about 10 minutes prior. You can see I'm shaking a little bit, moving around. It's basically because I'm trying to compensate for me sliding around on the bench. A little bit extra movement there than I would like. I did shut it down at 5 reps. You'll see here in this angle what I'm talking about. It's just not a real solid setup. I did use one of Mark Bell's products here on the bench. You can find it on their website. It's just to help from sliding around, but it wasn't necessarily sliding on the bench as much as it was the bench itself moving. So I really couldn't do much about that. But once again, you know, I'm set up in the safety rack here, or somewhat of a safety rack, where if I had to bail on that bar or somehow I fell off the bench, or you know, something crazy happens, the bar is going to land on those pins and give me some time to get out from underneath it. So it's set up just above my neck, and as you can see with an arch here, you know, the bar would definitely hit my chest, but I can collapse, you know, that arch that I have. Feeling really, really, really good. Got a little out of the groove on that one. Hit the pin there. Hit the pin there. So that definitely cost me some energy, and that's where I just went ahead and shut it down just for the sake of being safe. Moving on, I've got some band tension here at 100 pounds and 410 on the bar, Spoto presses. So we're going to go about 3 or so inches above the chest, pause, and then explode up. We're only doing singles right now. So the next set is going to be 465. I've got just like 120-pound dumbbells with a doubled over band there, giving me right at 54, I believe, each side. So it's a little bit over 100 pounds. I've measured it with a luggage rack measuring tool, a luggage weight measuring tool. And top set there was the 510, giving me about 610 or so at the top. Felt really, really good. Moving on to some back rows here, some dumbbell rows. The heaviest this gym has with dumbbells is 120, so 4 sets here of 14. And really, really lighten the back up here, getting a good squeeze. I could have done probably gotten away with 10 to 12 reps with 150 pounds, but they just didn't have it. 105 pounds in each hand here, 3 sets of 13 on chest flies, cable flies. This one's a little bit better setup than I had the previous weeks. I could adjust the height and the angle at which I was hitting those pecs. Definitely fried out my pecs a little bit from just benching. So this is definitely a good finisher. Moving on, got some rolling dumbbell tricep exercise here with 40 pounds. This is great for the triceps. You can probably get the elbows in a little bit further than I can. I'm definitely stuck on the chest there just with my body width, so that my elbows really won't squeeze much further. But that's okay. I mean, I definitely feel these in the triceps, and I hit the triceps a little bit later in the week, so I definitely am not going to use this as my only tricep exercise, but this is great for the elbows because you're rolling with it and it's not really putting a lot of torque on your elbows. Day 2 here, going to do some deadlifts. Opted to skip out on squats this week. Obviously, bench is my main concern, so what I've decided to do just to maintain my CNS and recovery is I'm going to start alternating my heavy squat, heavy deadlift days. 495 warm up, basically a stiff leg deadlift there, no big deal. Moving on, second warm up here, 585. The goal for the day is to go for 715 for 3. That'll be a PR for sure. Current PR is 715 for 2. And just kind of see, basically kind of feel things out. Last week, I was going to go for the 700 for 5, and I actually couldn't break 700 off the ground. It just was a bad day for me. I just did squats before, so just kind of off day. 675 warm up here, really lighten things up. Feeling good. Last warm up down, and we got 715 on the bar here, and feeling very, very confident. Obviously, was a little worried. Last week got 700 right about to my knee and just kind of bailed on it. Back was tight, got out of position, but not this week. And this was with the deadlift bar as well. I was on a stiff bar last week. 2. Getting my core braced up at the top here, getting a nice little hold. And finished out with a 3rd. Pretty happy with that. Always happy with a PR. But going to throw in my chest supported rows here, kind of a pseudo seal row. Top set here is 425, 5x5. Definitely wanted to put it on the row day. Working on really pulling that bar back towards my belly button just to get a little bit different stimulus there. Working out pretty well. Going to show you guys a little bit of more leg accessory that I normally don't show you guys. Doing the full stack here, hamstring curls. Doing a few sets of this just to kind of finish off those hamstrings. And showing you guys my leg extensions here. Full stack again. A few reps just to light up the quads. And this was a pretty short and sweet day. The focus, once again, is not on legs, but I definitely want to keep my legs strong. I believe that, I don't want to be kind of a one-trick pony, if you will. I definitely am focused on bench, but I still want to come back around and put up some bigger numbers on squat and deadlift when I'm done with the bench-only run. So I want to keep the legs healthy. Day 3, this is actually done on a Saturday this week, so a little bit out of the groove. Starting off, well, this is actually after some warm-ups, obviously. 300 here for some reps. This at one point was a PR. This is very, very, well, I don't want to say very easy, but definitely smooth. Doing a few sets of this didn't bother me whatsoever. Rear delts are just absolutely firing on all cylinders right now. Showing you guys one of my inner workout snacks. I like to snack on a little bit of candy here and there just to give me some something to look forward to. So gonna try to stack these plates here and go for a 325 PR, and got 1 rep basically, and it fell off on me. So I went ahead and jumped down to the 10-pound plate. Was able to get some reps out of this just to get some more weight to activate those rear delts. I think I'm going to have to probably move on to some other superset to hit these rear delts going forward, as you will see here in a minute. Those weights just don't want to stay on there. So I had a buddy of mine here at the gym help me hold on to these and see if we can't work out getting a few reps with 325, and seemed to work out pretty well. Got a few reps here, and then everything just fell apart. So I definitely got my work in, decided to go ahead and do some banded work here with the same with 300 pounds, and just went ahead and, you know what, the universe is against me right now. I've got my rear delt work in. That other stuff was extra. I'm calling it a day. It's not worth the hassle. So moving on, I've got 2 sets here with the 125s. That's the heaviest dumbbell this gym has. So go ahead and just rep out 20 of these for a couple sets, just for some extra volume in the week. These are really focused on just not really full motion. I'm not really looking on going full lockout or all the way to the chest. This is really just getting a little extra blood flow into the chest. I don't want to hit bench with barbell twice a week. It's just too heavy, and I'm not fully recovered. So that's just another way to get some reps in. T3 raises here with 12-pound dumbbells, 3 sets of 15. Really good shoulder mobility exercise. Shoulder is doing pretty well. It doesn't bother me at all. I know you guys might be concerned about that last week. I was telling you that I was worried about maybe some bursitis or a bursa sac or something going on in my shoulder. It doesn't bother me at all during any movement during the whole week of training. but it bothers me at night, and it bothers me sometimes when I lift up my shoulder. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. You know, I'm trying to just keep the inflammation down. I think it's just a little bit of inflammation going on in there. Rotator, you know, I'm trying not to make it serious, but definitely keeping an eye on it. So moving on to some fully extended dumbbell pullovers, 55 pounds. This is great for keeping the pecs healthy, just kind of getting a nice little stretch. Sometimes I put my feet up just to get a little bit more movement there. Tightens up the lower back a little bit. And sometimes that's good just even on like dumbbell bench. Just kind of takes your back out of the equation, especially after heavy deadlifts this week. The lower back I'm trying to keep from straining too much, because I really only want to hit lower back once a week. I can definitely hit upper back multiple times a week, and it heals very, very fast. So definitely something to keep in mind in your own training. You know, if your lower back is bothering you, if you're not doing a lot of mobility work, or you're hitting it more than once a week, it may just be that you need more recovery. And that's kind of with any muscle. If you have a lot of extra soreness, definitely, you know, think about working in some extra recovery there. Our top set here, 430 pounds. Worked up to this, obviously through 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, and so on. Got a few sets of 5 reps here, showing you a side angle. I'll show you guys a front angle here. Not a lot of extra room on this bar, so pretty soon we're going to max out this accessory. I could probably bring in a squat bar, maybe get some more weight on there. But at some point it's going to be too heavy and we'll have to move on. But we're going to switch around the accessories as needed to not only stay safe. I mean, there's no reason being able to say that you can T-bar row 600 pounds if you end up hurting yourself and then not being able to perform your main lift. So you definitely want to be careful with all the extra, you know, overhead pressing and extra movements, things like that. This is a shoulder exercise here. I got the bar. This is a kneeling landmine, 50 pounds, keeping it the same weight as last week. This actually did irritate the shoulder just a little bit, mostly because of the stress that it's putting on the shoulder, but it's not too terribly painful. It feels more like more of a recovery exercise or a prehab exercise. So that's another reason why we're keeping it light. I'm not trying to light the shoulders up too much, but sometimes a little bit of blood flow in there will help just flush out any kind of thing going on. And just a few sets of this. Moving on, some neutral grip lat pull downs. 210 pounds here. Few sets of 8. Actually, I think I may have mismarked that first one. This is 200 pounds. Now this is 210 with the 10-pound plate added. These are feeling really, really good. This is another upper back exercise, obviously lats, and definitely helping with aiding in a big bench, an explosive all right off the chest. Showing you guys my sets here with my tricep push downs. I'm using a V-bar here just to take a little bit of extra stress off the elbows. Elbow tendonitis is flaring up just a little bit towards the end of the week, but that's normal. I'm starting to get tired, a little fatigued. Sped this up for you guys, viewing enjoyment, just to show you guys that I'm actually doing 12 sets of 6. This is a total of 16,200 pounds of volume on triceps. Showing you guys just a different angle on the last half. I think I'm only showing you guys 10 or 11 sets. One of the sets I did video, but yes, I definitely hit 72 total reps of 225, and feels really, really good. Definitely have a good pump. Kind of having to adjust the weight there. It's falling off on me. And the last thing I did for this particular day, just because I thought it might irritate the shoulder, was the cable Y crossovers with 20 pounds each hand. This actually feels very therapeutic. I did it first last week, and I thought maybe this is what actually started irritating me, and that's what maybe caused the shoulder. But doing it today didn't seem to hurt it at all. So definitely, you know, keep it in there. I feel like it's really able to kind of open those shoulders up quite a bit. Not needing to go super, super heavy on this. No reason to do that. Like once again, it's I'm looking to progress in my training and not hurt myself. But that is going to do it for the weekly video recap. I hope you guys, take something away from that. Not only just, how I train, but how kind of I think about things. Sometimes I like to make notes during the week and share that with you guys. If something else, comes up, or I'm thinking a certain thing, just to share, that particular mindset. I know it helps a lot of you guys out. Some of you guys could care less about it. So I'm not really talking to you guys, but the ones who, are sometimes down and out on your own training, or you're in the gym and you just don't feel like something's going right. Sometimes your body, if you're in tune with it, is definitely telling you the right thing, and you should listen to it. Other times you should do the opposite. You got to know your body enough to figure that out. But I would always urge you to err on the side of caution. If you don't know your body that well and you're new to lifting, then probably take the precautions that you don't think you need yet and get rid of them later, versus not taking the precautions and hurting yourself in training or making a mistake and being regretful of it. A lot of you guys are pretty young. You got room and time to make mistakes, but if you make the wrong mistakes, you end up paying for them for the rest of your lifting career. What I'm talking about is like injuries or habits that are hard to break. And those are things that I think we're all guilty of at some point in time or another. So I think, just with my approach to training, I'd like to share that with you guys, just that, the way that I train and why I train a certain way. I know I'm a little bit older than some of you guys. I'm definitely not old, but, to the powerlifting world or to the strength world, 39 years old is an older guy. But I'm still putting up numbers that these younger guys are putting up, and there's a reason for it. It's because I'm not stupid with my training. At least I like to make sure that I'm not. I don't claim to know everything, like I said, and I'm sure I can make mistakes. But I am definitely open to learning and considering all options when everything is presented, and working with what works for me. But I definitely, like I said earlier, I really do appreciate you guys, following along on my journey. As a part of one of my thank yous, I want to extend a question and answer session, and that's kind of the time that we're at right now. I had a question from Instagram this week, and I wanted to go ahead and use this time to kind of cover that one question. Sometimes I take one from YouTube, take one from Instagram. This week, the question is from, it's actually a DM on Instagram, one of my longtime followers over there. And I hope I'm saying the name right, but it's Enzo Calabero 311. And he said, "Hey, James, why do you lift? What's your motivation to train for countless hours, days, and years, countless reps and sets, everything just for one more pound on the bar?" And, when I read that, I had to think just for a second, because I don't want to respond right away. I don't want to be careless with my answers, because I know a lot of guys, and I say guys, but women, men, lifters, are, really, really in tune with what I say, and I don't want to lead anybody the wrong way. So sometimes I wait to answer a question just to make sure that I'm answering it with most intelligence, or I may not know the answer for a certain question, and I'm trying to find the answer so I can get you guys the answer, because I don't know everything. But this question, it really I had to really dig deep into my core, because I could go on for hours and hours and hours with this. But I'm just gonna read directly what I said, because I don't think I could have summed it up any better. This is something that I think a lot of you guys, have to figure out for yourself, of why you lift or why you do whatever you do. And it's not just lifting. As you guys, if you know of me, you know that lifting is just one facet of my life, and that everything that I do in life, I use the same approach as I do in lifting as I do in other things. But in this particular circumstance, my answer is because I'm good at it. It gives me one more way to showcase my talents to the world. We all have talents. We should be proud to show them. They make us who we are. That may sound, now that I'm reading it, it sounds like a canned response, but honestly, I think that's as honest as I could be. I do lift because I'm good at it, because I have a natural knack for being a good lifter. Obviously I've been given some gifts and I'm using them. I'm not saying that if you don't have them, don't lift. I'm just saying that the reason I lift is because I'm actually good at it. I'm at a level, or I've always been at some level, even when I first started powerlifting, that I was, a state record holder for Texas, which is not nothing to sneeze at. That's actually a really good record to have. Definitely nowhere near the records that I'm at now. But that's what kind of kept me going, is once I realized, oh, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this. It was fun. And you can still have fun without breaking records. But for me, that's what kept me in it. That's what kept me pushing in the gym to go a little further, because I thought, man, if I actually applied myself like for real, or actually got a coach, or actually put the hours in versus just kind of going and maxing out, what could I actually do? And that's when things started really happening. And then it took, some time for different progress to happen. And that's when I realized that this is really, really something special. And that's what kept me going. But I want to then turn that around. And instead of it being all about me, I like to use this platform for exactly what I'm doing now, is to talk to you guys and let you know that it may not be lifting, it could be lifting, but something about you is different than everybody else around you. And you want to harness that. You want to find out what it is and be the best you can be at it, because you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. You're going to find your passion. I happen to find that with lifting, with volunteering. I do a lot of community service in my local community with the schools and kids who don't have dads. Obviously, being a dad, being a husband to my wife, those are all things that, it's not something that I guess you don't choose to do, but I definitely choose to do, and I want to be the best at. And so there's a few talents that I have that I want to harness and balance, and there's a whole series on balance that I will end up doing eventually. I've put out a few articles here and there, or a few videos with different sponsors about balance. But I definitely stress that you find balance in your own life. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to this question, it's definitely something that I'm good at, that I can continue to get better at. And even if it's just a little bit better than the last time, even if it's never a higher max, even if I never bench 700 pounds, the journey that I'm on is going to help a lot of people. Because I remember when I was on my own journey, or when I was on the beginning stages of my own journey, I'm still on my own journey. It's nice to be able to look out and see somebody else struggling with you in their own journey, and be able to just kind of relate to them and see, okay, they're going through something that's worse than I am, or maybe it's the same, and we're friends about it. We can talk to each other and bounce ideas off each other. And that's really what I want to create here, is a way for you guys to have dialogue with me and me to you, just to help you out, you help me out, and for us all just to be, a team going forward in whatever dreams and accomplishments that we're trying to reach. Because we live in a messed up world right now, where everybody wants to do their own thing and kind of dog on everybody else, or step on everybody else. And it's like, it's seen as tough that way. You're the biggest, baddest guy because you stepped on everybody to get where you're at. I just don't respect that. I would rather help 10 people to get where they need to be, and be all standing at the same level, versus, I got the record, but everybody else is destroyed. That, to me, records are meant to be broken. Why not help the next guy break a record as well? And honestly, I think the best way of learning is teaching yourself. So if you can teach other people of what you've learned and what you've accomplished, you're actually helping yourself to further your own ability. And that's a win-win. But that's all for the question and answers this week. Thanks, Enzo, for submitting that. And, for all you guys that submit your questions, you can definitely do it down in the comments. You can do it through Instagram. And while I'm on that, definitely check me out over there on Instagram at SwimHack. Follow me over there. I post a lot of daily stuff that I'm doing that I really don't cover on YouTube. It's, family life, what I'm eating, a lot of good stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in that, check me out over there. But definitely submit questions through DM over there. Email swimhack@gmail.com. And I'm actually wearing one of my bench press shirts. I'll go ahead and put a shameless plug in for benchonly.com. If you guys like this shirt, I think I've got this design, not with the sleeveless, but with the sleeves right on the website. I think they're like $20-25. If you guys want to support me, go straight to me and my family. We basically make those shirts and ship them straight to you, so they're all custom. So give me a few days if you're wanting a shirt. But benchonly.com. Go ahead and put my plug out there for my bench press and my full power programs. I've got a new 2.0 program out for the full power 24 weeks, but check those out, bencholly.com/training. I'll put a link down below. That definitely can help me out if you guys are looking to support me. But that is going to wrap it up for the weekly recap for 65. Very, very excited that we are over 500 pounds for reps and looking very, very strong. I really think that we're going to be in the mid fives very, very soon and probably getting up into the sixes a little sooner than we thought. But definitely want to have a smart approach about it. Next week is a deload week. So week 66 is a deload week. So nothing exciting there. It seems like the deload weeks are coming around faster and faster. And I don't feel banged up, but that's a good thing because I can utilize the deload week to really just reset everything and get a nice slingshot effect going forward into week 67. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what you see, definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and make sure you tune in next week for week 66. See ya.